Yo, 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 yo. What's good, my people? It's your boy, Jason Gooner, and we are back for some more EPL preview show breakdowns. This is where you get all the news before the weekend's fixtures. We take down the score predictions for the week, and we tally up who is the best predictor and who, of course, is the worst predictor. But you don't know this is a YouTube channel, a YouTube platform, a YouTube show. And on this platform, the best way to help me is by locating the thumbs up. Wherever you see that, click on it. If it's a touch screen, touch it. You know, share the content as well, people. Let other people know that Jason Guna is back in the studio to talk about some Premier League. Everybody, all of my friends in the Jamaican YouTube space, talking about Rudolph Speed right now, talking about the new coach. But right now, at least have a diversion. Take my mind off of that for at least a few hours, you see me? And talk about some EPL because it's back. We're back. We're back in the European football. As a matter of fact, football started back in Europe today. La Liga, France, Greenwood has scored a bag of goal as usual. So yeah, man, football got kicked off today for the men. Of course, the women been playing, but for the men, we're back in the European action, and we're here to discuss and break down all of the games in the EPL for the week, people. You know the thing set. Week 11, we couldn't even forward. So it's the only week this season so far we'll never have a full preview show with predictions and everything. Some of you guys reached out because I always dropping the scores, but we never even do it last week. So well, that would have been 2 weeks ago. But we're back, week 12. So we're here to break down all 10 games. You know the thing, go. Jason Guna is the channel, say no, Gunners all the way. But we don't discriminate. We love football. So we break down every team, what's going on with every team, who we think going to win. And man's play FPL too. So you don't know, we're going to check on the FPL injuries and see who is fit, who is not fit. But yeah, we've had some not the best last few weeks before going into this international window. But I say kind of limp into the international break with my FPL. But yeah, we're rejuvenated now. So we're going forward back and take back crown, you know? Yeah, man. So people you don't know the thing set, man. We're there. We're going to discuss some football. Take a mind off for the madness in the JFF and Jamaica. If you are a Jamaica fan, it's like you get a left hand. But we never qualify direct out of the group, and now you get a right hand now with the new coaching selection. But some people that might not have been a right hand, that might have been a lifeline, you know, because he does have his supporters. Some people do think that it was the right thing to appoint him, so we shall see. But people, enough of that. We didn't come here to talk about that, so I left that alone. But it's a thing that's a consumer mind. It's an EPL show, and they are talk about speed. Ah, yeah, people, I gonna allow that. I gonna allow that. Maybe we'll run out over the weekend and give my take on that and take some calls and things. But for tonight, people, we're gonna just talk about some football, my favorite thing to talk about, not this madness. So yeah, this week, you know, if your favorite team, we can't even say boy who get 3 points last week or no game never play. But tomorrow, football is back in the EPL. We have some good games. Chelsea kick off the weekend, traveling to Turf Moor. Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton, Brentford, Fulham, Sunderland, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, Wolves, Crystal Palace, and then Newcastle, Man City to end off the Saturday. So some nice games tomorrow, and then Sunday, of course, two more games. Leeds, Aston Villa kicked off before the big one, the North London Derby at the Emirates, Arsenal versus Tottenham. So good weekend of football. Have a Monday fixture as well. United hosting Everton. That should be good as well. David Moyes going back to a place that he was the coach at one point. Not for long, but yeah, he was there. And yeah, should be a good week of football. And we're going to break it all down and predict all of it. People, big up on yourselves that are in the comment section. Just please do me the favor, which I know you are. Just smash up the like button. All right, people, please, please, please make sure to do that for me. All right, so look, we're not gonna itch, we're gonna get it moving. Big up each and every one of you in the comment section. I don't know if something is going on with the comments, but For some reason, there's no comments. Let me just check the settings, because maybe I did something that I didn't mean to do on the video. I'm not even seeing a box pop up in the thing. Customization. Live chat is there, so I don't know why it wouldn't be showing. Okay, so it should be showing. I did have it locked off. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Wagwan, Nick. Hope everything is good. Boy, Liverpool are wobble this season, cuz. What's going on? What is going on? Will they right the ship this week? We will find out. Sean Dyche. The new manager bounce might get you. Arne Slot had a whole season of a new manager bounce. It was quite amazing. Back down to earth this season, though. All right, people. So you know the format of the show. We get the show kicked off. We bless up the people, and then we get right into the football. So we like to take a look at the latest as far as the injuries are concerned. So let's take a look at some of the media that we have out there in regards to some of the fitness of some of the teams and the players. So first thing we're going to check is the Gunners. We don't play till Sunday. So most times with this boy Arteta, whenever them talk to him on a Friday and the game is Sunday, you might as well never talk to him. So let's see if my theory is right. So Arteta's injury update on Gabriel and Calafiori. So Arteta has provided an injury update on Gabriel and Calafiori ahead of our clash against Tottenham Hotspur. Centre-back was forced off with an injury in Brazil's 2-0 win over Senegal at Emirates Stadium, and Mikel revealed he could be out for weeks. He would be out for weeks. Gabi unfortunately picked up an injury with Brazil national team, and he's going to be out for weeks, our boss said in the pre-match press conference. We need to have another scan next Wednesday, and we'll have the timeline probably much clearer than we have at the moment. It's clearly a blow because he's our leader in our backline, and to me, it's never a positive thing. The good thing is that we have very good options, and we need to stand up now and do the job. Calafiori missed the international break with Italy, and Mikel has also given an update on the left back. He wasn't available. He's been carrying a few things, and we had to bring him back. He hasn't trained yet. Tomorrow we have another training session, and we'll see how he is. Odegaard, Madueke, Havertz, Martinelli, and Gyökeres are all longer-term absentees who did not go on international break with their respective nations. He said, we've put in a lot of energy during the international break with all the medical staff as well to try to bring them as quickly as possible. So tomorrow we have another training session, see how some of them are feeling, whether it's a bit too close for this game or we feel they can make a contribution in the game. So tomorrow, we have more clarity. So thanks a lot, Mikel, for all of that info. So yeah, as I suspected, playing it close to the vest, nothing really given out there, nothing to go off of. Check. What I go and do. Yeah, man, this is the no speed hour. Okay, so all of you who been talking about Rudolph all day, yeah, we won't be talking about that over here. Bless up to you, gigs in the building. Don't know the thing going on, man. So if Nick there, Nick putting his hat back in the ring. You know, Nick last year was running for the title of Donkey for the year, but Duke was too good. He was just too good, people. And he ended up getting it. All right, so no matter which platform you're on, the landscape, the portrait, just go ahead and find that thumbs up button. Smash it. Please and thanks, my people. All right, so let's move on now. That was Arsenal. Now let's go to Old Trafford. Duke, this is your segment. Yes, really, Duke. Yes. Your segment, Duke. You're supposed to know about your side, but just in case. So the team news for them to face Everton. This game won't be till Monday. So if you think Arteta was coy, but I don't think Amorim style that. Amorim just tell it straight up. That man not play. Ruben Amorim has provided an update on 4 players. All right. Sesko is set for a few weeks on the sideline after pulling up injured late on in the dramatic 2-2 draw at Tottenham earlier this month. He withdrew from international duty with Slovenia and is working on his recovery, but Amorim says the issue is not too concerning. He's going to stay out for a few weeks. I don't know how long, but it's not that serious. We have to be careful with him. He's going to recover. He's doing the recovery and is feeling better. So in a few weeks, I expect to have Ben. Maguire will miss the clash with Everton, suffered an issue in North London as well. Centre-back had only just returned to the side after injury forced him to sit out of the games against Brighton and Forest. Mainu was absent for the Tottenham trip but could be available in time to face Moyes' side as the preparation work continues. Maguire is not ready. Kobe didn't train today, but I think tomorrow we could see Kobe. So we will see. Lisandro Martinez is getting closer. He was in Argentina's camp, which was making the headlines over the international window, and he was there just training with the team. He's becoming close to ready to play. Of course, we need to be careful as he's going to struggle in the first few minutes. He's clearly in a better position compared to 2 weeks ago. Everton team news. Moyes had to say that a player Merlin Roll is on the treatment table. Branthwaite and Patterson are both long-term out. So no new absences for Everton. A team like Everton right now, really what? NDI would be playing for Senegal. But other than that, I'm trying to think. Idrissa Gana Gueye probably plays for Senegal as well. Other than those 2 players and Pickford, wouldn't be many internationals on there. No, I lie. Mikolenko probably plays for Ukraine. Yes, so them have a few still, to be fair to them. May I diss them. Them have a few internationals on the starting lineup. But yeah, they don't have any new injuries, so Everton should be pretty much the same as they were a few weeks ago. United will be without Maguire and Sesko, it looks like, and Mainu should be back in the fold, even though, I mean, Mainu is like a fringe player these days, right? He don't really play that much. I was injured. Everybody but me didn't know, Duke. It's all right, though. Yeah, you have not come close to getting it this season, so maybe you're onto something with an injury or something. Something is going on. You're doing better. All right, so the next team is the Cherries. Let's see what Iraola had to say in the presser. They play tomorrow, so they should be pretty much most of the players you would know. So Clivert still can't get going this season. Clivert and Doak is going to miss the game against West Ham. He sustained an abductor injury in the Netherlands 1-1 draw against Poland in a World Cup qualifier. So he hasn't really gotten off the ground yet for Bournemouth this season compared to his form last year. And he's off at national duty and gets injured. So been a really unlucky season for him so far with the injuries. After providing the assist for McTominay, Doak was replaced after 21 minutes with a hamstring problem. So Doak also hasn't featured that much for Bournemouth, but in international duty, he gets injured as well. So 1 abductor, 1 hamstring. Ben is going to be out for months with the hamstring, it says. Let's see. Head coach also provided an update on forward Antoine Semenyo. So a lot of you FPL players would want to hear this part. Antoine is different. Justin and Ben have muscle injuries, and Antoine's not something new that happened when he was there on duty with Ghana. He was already dealing with an ankle injury. I cannot tell you if he's going to play tomorrow or not. We'll have to see. I have a couple of situations with the ones who have arrived late. We have to see if they are comfortable to help us tomorrow. Tyler Adams and Adam Smith will be available after missing out against Villa. Looks like they both had concussions. Yes, him said I haven't trained as well because the concussion protocol is a bit, kind of limits what you can do with the players. So, even though they're available, he's not really happy, it sounds like, with how much they train. So Southampton, Bournemouth having quite a few issues going into that West Ham clash, and Nuno did get the first win for West Ham in a long time. So might be a good time to be facing the Cherries. They're on a bit of a slide. And it looks like some of their top players, their top player and a couple of the good cast will be out. Semenyo is going to be a game time decision, it sounds like. So no help to us fantasy owners on what to do with Semenyo this week, but we shall see. Semenyo typically plays though. I mean, that's one thing you can rely on, is that him going to play. So if he's able, he will be out there. All right, let's see. Crystal Palace updates on Gehi and Ketia and Mateta. So again, players that are owned a lot in FPL. I have a couple of these players in my team currently, so that can change though, because I have a wild card to play, not a wild card, a free hit to play. I might actually play that this week, but don't know if I'm gonna take that leap or not. I have to really analyze things. But Glasner says all players are fit. Wow, that's great news for the Eagles fans. They were without Gehi for the last fixture, and he did not play over the international break because of that. All players are fit, fortunately. Mark started training with us Wednesday, so he did now 3 sessions, and it's good. Nketiah trained the whole week. He started on Monday, and Mateta came back with a minor knee issue, but trained today without any issue, so he's also fit, so very good news. Palace have 11 fixtures in the next 5 weeks. Wow. First time now we had all the players in training on Thursday after the international break. Usually it's just a Friday training with them. The players look very sharp, very good today. The players are fit. We have a great mood. We have a great energy in the group. So I don't see any reason why we wouldn't continue this success. It's up to us. It's our responsibility. Now they will travel to the Molyneux, and it's going to be the first game for new manager over there. I think Rob Edwards just took that job, I believe. So yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one. I think Palace, anything less than 3 points for Bournemouth in that game would be, hearing about Bournemouth for Palace in that game would be a problem, because Wolves yet to register a win on the season. But to be fair to them, the performances have looked a little better of late. And when I say a little, I mean a little. Let's not get carried away with anything. Evan Nielsen brace. I could see it. But they have been a lot more stingier under Nuno so far, West Ham. So let's see. At least in the last game, they were very stingy. So let's see if he's found something. Typically once he's around for a little bit, you see that his defense usually do well. So let's see if him have that mark on West Ham, whose defense look horrible for like the last, I don't know how long now, 2 years, 3 years. All right. Next bit of news is some bad news out of Stamford Bridge. Chelsea fans, I'm sure, would have heard about this news by now. So Cole Palmer actually getting a new injury. It didn't happen on the training pitch. Actually happened at his yard. So he issued an update on the fitness of Cole Palmer ahead of the weekend trip to Burnley, while also confirming the return of a Chelsea defender. All right, so let's see if I can find the quotes. Okay, Cole won't be available for tomorrow, no. For sure he won't feature in this game, and for sure not for Barcelona or Arsenal. Unfortunately, he had an accident at home 2 days ago where he hit his toe. It is fractured. It's disappointing, but these things can happen. It's nothing too serious, but it's causing him some pain on his little toe, and for sure he's not going to be available for this week or next. He was very close to being back with us from his groin issue, which is very good, but then he had this problem with his toe, which has set him back. It's nothing major, but he needs a bit more time to recover. So that's horrible news for the Blues. Big week coming up for them. Obviously, after this Burnley game, they have Arsenal and Barcelona next week. So definitely not the time for a freak accident like that. Badia Shield is back, according to the coach. I don't know if Chelsea fans will be happy or sad about that, but he is back and available to feature against Burnley. Caicedo has returned from duty with no issues, and Enzo and Pedro Neto are both available for selection too. I think both those players skipped this international window, I believe. Yeah, so they used the I didn't see either of them when I was watching those teams play and looking at the lineups and stuff for their teams. So yeah, they basically used the window to just kind of get over some little issues they were having, and they are both ready to go for the game at Turf Moor. When is that, tomorrow? Yeah, first game tomorrow. So that's gonna be interesting at Turf Moor, but more bad news for Cole Palmer. Season can't get off the ground this year just yet. Back injured again, and this time it is a freak injury, a toe injury that happened at home. So don't know how the heck that happened, but probably quite a story. All right, so let's see. All right, so let's go to the matches for the week, people. Let's get to the matches for the week. Remember, smash that like button, share, subscribe. But now we're going to really break down the football because we're going to talk about the match them. All right, so Burnley and Chelsea is the curtain raiser. Peter Banks will be the referee at Turf Moor tomorrow morning. If you watch the Premier League week in, week out, you know that the referee is an important player. And I said player for a reason, because sometimes they want to play in the damn game with the players them. But Peter Banks will be the ref, as I said. So let's see if he has a good performance. I highly doubt it will happen, but let's see. All right, so these are the stats for the season so far. Burnley just outside the relegation zone in 17th position. Chelsea all the way back up to third after a decent finish to the last little stretch of games before the international break. They are now up to 6 wins, 2 drawn, and they have 3 losses on the season. 7 losses for Burnley, 3 wins, and 1 draw. 14 goals scored for Burnley, 21 for Chelsea, one of the better scoring teams in the league so far, averaging just about 2 goals per game, conceding 1 goal per match, just about. You see the XG for Chelsea, very good, 20.75 over the first 11 games. Burnley at 8.3. You see the XG per 90, so they're almost about 2 goals per match, and that checks out to their average goals of 2. 5 clean sheets as well. So that's been something this season that Chelsea has definitely cleaned up. Weren't the best at getting clean sheets last season, but this season definitely has cleaned that up quite a bit. So they're up to 5 already for the season, 2 for Burnley. Now this is the team form going into the game. Burnley have 2 wins against Leeds and Wolves, fellow relegation battle teams that look like they're going to be that way this year at least. They have losses against Villa, Arsenal, and right before the international break, they fell to West Ham. That was the first win in a long time for West Ham, and they beat Burnley 3-2 on the day. Now Chelsea, 4 wins out of their last 5, with the only blemish coming match week 9 versus Sunderland. A big loss for them at home, actually. But other than that, good results, beating Liverpool 2-1, traveling to Forest, winning that game 3-0, traveling to Tottenham, winning that game 1-0, and a comprehensive 3-0 against Wolves in the match week before the international break. So they are on a good roll, 12 points from 15, and that has gotten them all the way up to third position in the league. I think 6 points off the top right now. They have played 18 times in this fixture in the Prem. The 1 win for Burnley did come away from home at Stamford Bridge, but they have drawn 5 times. Chelsea winning 12 of those matches. They drew 2-2 in 2024 last time Burnley was in the league. Chelsea won this fixture in that season 4-1, and I'm sure Maresca would take that same result in this game in the morning. Now, when you look at the when you just familiarize yourself with the last time they played and just see who the players were. This was the lineup for Burnley when they faced West Ham and fell 3-2. Fleming has been starting up front. I know Foster was out due to injury, but he's back now. And Fleming has kept his place, scoring some good goals in Foster's absence. So the coach is sticking with him. I think that probably will continue tomorrow, even though Foster might be in contention again. Dubravka in goal has been solid for them. The back four, Walker, Twanzebe, Esteve, and Hartman. I think Hartman recently got a call into the Dutch national team as well. So his move up to the Premier League has helped him out. Cullen had a great international break with Ireland as they made the playoffs. He's been steady in the midfield as the captain. And, one thing with Burnley so far, they have been able to have quite a steady lineup. Most of the players that started with the exception of like Fleming, who has been changing out with Foster. They have been able to keep some continuity there. Brun Larson sometimes starts as well for one of the midfield players. But for the most part, these have been the starters for a few weeks now. So that continuity, I think, will continue. And Scott Parker is probably going to stick with that lineup until, he's forced to have to not go with that. I think Edwards, came on and looked, decent, looked pretty sharp. And he might be pushing for a place or a more permanent place in the starting lineup at some point. But I wouldn't be surprised if you see, at least, 10 of these players start the game again, as long as everybody's fit right now, which I think they are. So, yeah, Burnley, that's their lineup the last time they played. And then let's take a look at the last time Chelsea played. And this lineup is one that's difficult to predict for a Chelsea team that has a lot of players. With some players coming back, you could see something similar tomorrow. I think Garnacho and Neto look to be who the coach is going with in the Premier League from the start. I still don't know why Estevao doesn't get more playtime in the Premier League, but maybe that's something that he might grow into as the season progresses. Delap is back and he started the last time, but didn't look that effective. But I still feel like Pedro is going to give you more if you play him in the role just off the striker. So just for that reason, I would still play Delap up there in this game if I was the coach, so that it frees up Pedro to play in the 10. It's going to be interesting with the games coming up for Chelsea, Barcelona in midweek and then Arsenal. Will there be some kind of rotation? Will the game against Burnley be the game that he thinks the rotation is needed? These are things to watch out for, all you FPL managers that might have some Chelsea players. Don't be surprised if quite a few changes are made from what you see here. Reece James came on. Could he start? Or is the priority going to be to play him against Barca? These are the things that we're not really sure of, that the coach, what direction the coach going to go in. But look, I don't think much of that matters for Chelsea right now. I do think that, maybe last season I might have had a different story and said, boy, don't know. I don't know if Chelsea is going to, turn up. But I do think that Chelsea have really and truly turned a corner as far as consistency. I think their main problem, which was their defense, has really stepped up this season. And, I've always said that the minute Chelsea start to defend better, they're going to be a problem in the league, because I do think that their midfield and attack is pretty strong. And they have decent players that can, in Maresca's system, cause some damage. And I think, Estevao is just loading and waiting to really explode. And the minute the coach really trusts him, I think the league going to have to watch out, because he looks to be super, super talented. So, look, I know this sounds like I don't know, to all the people them watching this, they must have say, oh, why my talk so good about Chelsea? But we just have to be honest, they have been playing some good football, and the consistency in the defense is what I think is making the change for them. And I don't think that changes against Burnley, who right now offensively don't offer enough, and I think that's going to be their downfall staying in the league. So Yeah, I see Nick's prediction of 2-0. I like that one. I think I'm actually going to steal that prediction, 2-0 Chelsea. That's literally what I was thinking. So I do think that they will keep a clean sheet tomorrow. I just think they'll be able to control the game, control the possession enough, and it will, in the end, be a comfortable 2-0. Tempted to go more than 2, but I want to keep it at 2-0. Some TF prediction that time, Nick. Bless up Toffee Rudy, and thanks for the condolences, man. Yeah, man. Respect. Oh, go on, coach. Big up, Man like Goon, I really try to stick to the script. Yeah, man. Bro, this is the perfect diversion from the madness, bro. I made sure to get my fixing with the other creators that were honored from there, But I knew deep down inside, Jason Gooner TV ain't gonna be talking about that tonight. No sirree. Big up yourself, Rob. 2-0 Chelsea. Yeah, man. I agree. Actually, I agree with you this time. Brighton versus Brentford looks tasty. Yeah, man. Coming up to that one soon. Sherry Swiss, thanks for the comment. Hopefully, I've liked the video. Yeah, man. Big up yourself. All right, so Sherry Swiss. We'll soon get to the Brighton Brentford, but first, we have the Cherries hosting West Ham. Now, the stats and the tail of the tape look like this. West Ham still in the relegation zone, but inching their way away from it with a win last time. They have 3 wins now on the season. Bournemouth with 5. They're in 9th position currently. 3 draws for Bournemouth, 1 draw for West Ham. 7 losses though for West Ham. Problem. 7 out of the first 11 them lose. 3 losses for Bournemouth, who have been on the skid of late. Started out really hot and have kind of come back to the pack of late. 17 goals for them, 13 for West Ham in the first 11 games. You see the goals conceded and goals per 13.37 xG. Not really that prolific, honestly, from Bournemouth. West Ham, who you would think on paper not the most offensive team. They're only, less than 1 xG below them. You see the xG per 90 very similar. 4 clean sheets though on the season for Bournemouth, only the 1 for West Ham, and that has been an issue for them this season, keeping clean sheets. Now you look at the team form for both teams. They were unbeaten in the 3 games to start out the last 5, but they have lost the last 2, big convincingly as well. 3-1 away lost to Man City, and then a embarrassing 4-0 against Aston Villa. Probably Villa's definitely best performance of the season so far. West Ham had 3 losses on the trot, but they have 1, 2 on the bounce, and that is what you call the new manager bounce, winning at home twice, back-to-back games. First, the scalp of Newcastle, and last time out against Burnley. So the new manager bounce is real, people. It's really real. So, and they're experiencing it right now. It didn't always go that way though, because who was managing this game? Was this already him? Yeah, so Nuno, I think this was Nuno's first game when he played Arsenal. So he had 3 losses on the bounce, and people were wondering, will he ever get that manager bounce? Well, if he can get a win at the Vitality in this game coming up on Saturday, tomorrow, then he'll have 3 wins to go with those first 3 losses, and he'll be saying, look at me now, 16 played in the series so far, 5 wins for West Ham, 4 for Bournemouth, 7 drawn games, so it's extremely close in this particular series, and amazingly, the last 4 fixtures, 4 times they have played each other have ended in draws. So if I was a betting person, you know what I would do? West Ham, the last time it wasn't a draw, West Ham beat them 4-0 in the same stadium. So they would hope to be able to pull off one of those again tomorrow. Now, the lineups last time, this was Bournemouth's lineup against Aston Villa in this debacle for them. Petrovic in goal, Smith, Milosavljevic, Senesi, Truffair, Alex Scott in midfield with Tyler Adams. Scott did make his debut for the senior team, I think, in this past window, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was a part of that team. Tyler Adams, who we know was coming off of the concussion protocol. Semenyo, still a doubt. They'll be without Clivert. Tavernier has had a really good season so far. And Evan Nielsen is back, starting again after Krupi was on fire. In his absence, he went back to the bench for this game. And they brought back Evan Nielsen from the start. So that will, I think, for them tomorrow, when you're looking at Bournemouth, I think at right back, they'll probably make a change. Alex Jimenez, if he's fit enough, will come and play that right back role. Lewis Cook is an option as well. Truffert should be back in the fold as well. Clivert is out, so Tavernier more than likely will move to the middle, and probably David Brooks could come in from the start to play probably off the right, Semenyo off the left. That could be a possibility. And Evan Nielsen, I think, will get the start again. Now looking at West Ham's team when they beat Burnley 3-2, sorry. This was Nuno's lineup that he went with. Wilson started up front, Somerville and Bowen on the flanks, Fernandez, Potts, and Paqueta. Potts has come in and had a big impact playing in that central midfield role, the youngster. Todibo has been playing a lot better the last few weeks. Finally, looking like it wasn't the worst investment in the world, because last season it looked like it might have been just a waste. Kilman the same, spent a lot of money to bring him over from Wolves, was lackluster. But they have defended much better the last couple of games. Wan-Bissaka, fresh from getting Congo through the African playoffs, or helping to get them through the African playoffs, and Diouf did get some game time with his national team as well. Areola has been better of late. So yeah, West Ham, Bournemouth. I think West Ham is going to face Bournemouth at a very good time. They're kind of having a bit of a struggle of late. I don't think the defense has been as on point. You look at the last 5 fixtures, they've conceded quite a few goals. 1 here, 3 here, that's 4, 7, 11. So 11 goals conceded in the last 5. That's quite a bit for them. So they aren't trending the right way. West Ham are trending the right way. Is that enough for me to go with West Ham over Bournemouth at Vitality? Who's the referee? Thomas Bramwell. Okay. Interesting one. Look, before I look at any comments, I don't want to get swayed. Bournemouth, West Ham. Did the international break do the trick for Iraola and his boys? And did it come at the wrong time for Nuno? Because he was kind of building a momentum. All right, look, the last 4 times the game played draw. So we're not change from that. So I'm going to say this one ends 1-1. 1-1 result. 2-1. Yeah, man. No, the thing set, man. Go argue with the people in the comments. 2-2 Burnham. Coach is back. Two 0 Bournemouth, 3-1 Chelsea. All right. Cool. All right. Moving on. Next match on the docket, we have Brighton and Brentford. Miss Sherry Swiss said it. Say, yo, this one tasty. All right. So the position is 11th and 12th. So talk about a swing. I believe they're on the same exact points as well. 4 wins, 4 draws. That's what? 20 points? No. 4 wins, 4 threes, 12. Yeah, all right, 16 points. And then 5 wins and 1. Yeah, 16 points. So they're both on 16 points. They both have 17 goals. More goals conceded, though, on the Brentford side. You see the expected goals pretty much the same. Expected goals per 90. They both have 2 clean sheets. So this is literally a case of 2 teams that just right there with each other this season so far. Going into the break, Brighton had a 0-0 draw away from home, a very forgettable game. And then the 3-1 win for Brentford was a big one over Newcastle as Newcastle wobbled into the international break. So that was the last 2 fixtures they played. 8 times in this fixture, 3 wins for Brighton, 2 wins for Brentford, and 3 drawn games. The last time they played, Brentford got the better of them 4-2, and the corresponding fixture last season was a 0-0 draw right after Christmas. Let's take a look at the teams that played in match week 11 from the start. This was for Brighton. Brighton had Verbruggen in goal. Vifa, who has been a converted right back this season, doing decent. Van Heck becoming more of a leader on the back line now. Even though the captaincy is still with Dunk, I think Van Heck is like the A defender at this point. Kadioglu still a bit of a wild man sometimes. Have to be fair. Kadioglu, like a Swiss Army knife, can play everywhere, but he's been playing left back for them. Baleba, don't know what's going on with him. Still kind of hit and miss so far this season. Ayari has been consistently pretty good. Gomez has forced himself into the Premier League starting lineup. Minta has been consistently good as well. And Welbeck just scores goals. Ruta has been playing well off the striker as well. So they have some players on some decent form this season. And they do have some bench options as well. But I think if everybody's fit after the break for them, I wouldn't be surprised if this starting 11 started again. Then moving to Brentford, this was their lineup in their 3-1 win over Newcastle. Their coach, Keith Andrews, proving to be a good hiring by them. Collins, Vandenberg, Hickey, and Coyote started the last time. Yarmulke, Jordan Henderson has been a good signing for them as well. Thiago is one of the highest scorers in the league so far. Shade, definitely a threat on that flank. Damsgaard, still to me very underrated as a creative player. And Otara just gave them those blinding, speedy wingers now on both sides. And that counter-attacking style that Andrews likes to use fits these players up front very, very well. But that is the Brentford team. Rico Henry and Pinnock were on duty with Jamaica. They should be back. Reece Nelson has been coming off the bench looking, more and more sharp. Maybe he might break into getting some opportunities to start for this team, but wouldn't be surprised if much of the same 11 does come back out and play in this game. But we shall see how right I am on that. But for this game, people, Brighton and Brentford, I definitely see goals in it. Don't think either team will keep a clean sheet. It's just a matter of, do I see one of them winning by the odd goal or do I like another draw? I'm going to give Brighton the slight edge due to the fact that they're at the Amex. I'm going to say they win this one 2-1 over Brentford. I was kind of thinking and leaning towards a draw, but I'm going to stick with my guns and say 2-1 victory to Brighton. Edward said 2-2. Desmond. Bless up, Chile. Oh, go on, my brother. Your team on fire from within, man. See if it continue. Yeah, man, Mitoma out long term. Mitoma out long term, man. I don't know how long, but him out. He shouldn't be too far out, though. Yeah, it shouldn't be too far out. But yeah, he is injured right now, though. Bless up game, birds. I want to do the first, well, 3 game them so far. Burnley, Chelsea, Bournemouth, West Ham, and Brighton, Brentford. Chile say 1-1. Well, I mean, I lean towards the draw too, but we'll go with the winner. Tough game this week after the break, so anything can happen. Yeah, yeah, both of we have some tough game. The only thing you guys have going for that game is that Newcastle has just been poor in the league, even at home for the most part. So that should give you some hope. All right, so Fulham hosting Sunderland, 10 a.m. kickoff tomorrow. Darren England will be the ref. Let's take a look at the stats. Taylor Tape in boxing, 15th position for Fulham, lower than they would like to be right now. 4th position. Sunderland probably a surprise package so far this season in the Prem. Um, Holding the league leaders Arsenal to a draw before the international break should have gave them some confidence as well. They have 5 wins, 4 draws, and only lost 2 times so far in the Premier League. 3 wins, 2 draws, and now up to 6 losses for Fulham. 12 goals scored for Fulham. That's been an issue. 14 for Sunderland. Similar issues for them. You see the XG, they're underperforming XG per game. They're just under 1, both teams. You see the 1 per 90 is a round up, and they're at 0.95. So 2 clean sheets to 4 by Sunderland, and that's actually helped them get some of these draws this season so far. So you see the form of the two teams. Fulham 4 losses out of the last 5, with the lone win coming against the team that everybody has beaten so far this season. It seems like, or feels like, Wolves. They got the better of them 3-0, but losses to Bournemouth away, Arsenal at home, Newcastle away, and Everton away in those 5 fixtures as well. Sunderland have only lost 1 in the last 5, 2 wins over Wolves and Chelsea away, big win for them. And then they drew with Everton and Arsenal at home going into the international break. This game has been played 20 times in the Prem. Fulham has 8 wins, Sunderland has 5, and 7 games were drawn. They haven't met in the Prem though since 2013-14 season, where the away team actually won both fixtures. Don't know what that means for tomorrow, but that's just a fun fact. Now, just to familiarize yourselves with what they look like in match week 11 when they faced off against Everton. This was Fulham starting lineup: Leno, Tete, Anderson, Bassi, and Sessegnon, Lukic, Berger, Iwobi, Kevin, Harry Wilson, and Raul Jimenez. Rodrigo Muniz did come back from injury, came on and had to come off again. This man saw this season with the injuries. I think Chukwueze, Josh King, who didn't start in the last game, Josh King especially, could be in line for another start again. But they are getting their players back fit, so it could very well be these players again. I think it's just going to depend on if Muniz recovered over the international break, because I do think that Muniz at this stage is probably the better striking option from the start. But let's see if Marco Silva agrees with me. Now, next team, Sunderland. Of course, this was their lineup when they got the draw against Arsenal. Roofs, Hugh Mukiele, Ballard, Gertruda, and Mandava. Traore, Xhaka, Sadiki, Lefay, and also Isidore. Now, they have Brian Brobby, who came on and scored in the last game. I've been waiting for the coach to give him some more starts, but Isidore really was playing very well, so I understand why he was getting all the starts, but it could be time again to try to give Brobby a start, but let's see. Let's see what the coach decides. Fulham and Sunderland, though, look, typically when a relegated team plays a team away from home, I usually always go against them. But I'm gonna just say that my thought process in this is Fulham really need the win, you know. But Sunderland, I think, is just that resolute, and I just feel like this game has draw written all over it. So I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. I think both teams will get some goals. I think at the end of the day, they will share the points, and it will be the third draw on the bounce for Sunderland. So let's see if you guys agree. I'm sure a lot of you will probably be going for a Sunderland win. Let's see if I'm right on that prediction there. Chelsea 2-0, said Chile. You agree with me? Cherries 3, West Ham 1. Duke, run off the score them. Burnley and Chelsea 2-2. My bad mind Chelsea this week. Bournemouth, West Ham 1-1. Brighton, Brentford 2-2. Fulham 2-1 over Sunderland. Liverpool 3, Forest 1. Wolves 1, Palace 1. Newcastle 1, Man City 3. Leeds 1, Villa 2. Arsenal 2, Spurs 1. And United 2, Everton 0. Alright, so Duke score them in. Shaka in this, 1-0 Fulham. Yeah. Hey, this is a good game to go with that, I swear. Team that not doing so hot, but I still go with the 2. I just feel like Sunderland I gotta just find some goal and equalize up the thing. Game Birds are catch up 2-0. Chelsea 2-1 Cherries. 3-1 for the Gulls. And 2-2 Fulham Sunderland. Alright. 1-1 Fulham 3, Brighton 1. What the hell? What that mean? 1-1 Fulham. 3-1 Brighton. Okay, so the Fulham game going to end 1-1, and the Brighton going to win that game 3-1. Alright, I got it. I figured that out. Big up Francis. Big up yourself, my bro. Yeah, man, me hop on. The conversation did nice, brother, but I see the time I go and I say, boy, I don't want up all night to do this, So I had to run off, bro. But respect for the opportunity. Yeah, man, big up to each and every one. He says in the comments. Actually, say 1-1. Yeah, man, I think Sunderland are gonna get a next draw. With the one skull there. Bless up. Giving the dappings. Alright, so matches. So we just did the Fulham Sunderland game now. Liverpool Forest. Can Liverpool shake off the rust? Alright, so they're in 8th position. That's crazy. 6 wins and 5 losses. Them in nothing with draws. 2 wins, 3 draws, 6 losses for Nottingham Forest. I wonder how long it took them to get 6 losses last season. Forest in the relegation zone currently. Sean Dyche with another relegation saving performance needs to forward soon. 18 goals for Liverpool, just 10 for Forest. Both teams conceding about 2 a game. You see the XG for Liverpool way better at 17.91. Almost 14 for Nottingham Forest, so not that bad. When you look at the 10 goals and all that XG, they really should have more goals this season. 3 clean sheets to none. Forest, a team that last year was up there with the league leaders. I think they ended up tying for the league lead, or maybe even had it for clean sheets last season, but they haven't had any in the first 11 games. 3 clean sheets for Liverpool out of 11. Really not the best return for them either. You see Liverpool's form of late. Look at all that red. 4 losses out of 5. Right before the break, they had a 3-0 spanking against City as well. Forest, 3 losses on the trot. And then Sean Dyche ball. 2-2 against Man U. 3-1 at home against Leeds. This time they'll have to travel to Anfield, but Dyche will have a very defensive setup ready for them. 16 matches played, 4 wins for Forest, 7 wins for Liverpool with 5 draws. Last season, Forest they beat Liverpool away from home, and then they drew them in January. So one of the few teams to get 4 points off Liverpool last season, I'm sure. Maybe even the only one. I think there might have been one other team. But yeah, that was what they were able to do last season. This season is a new season though, but Liverpool is not what they were last season either so far. So something has to give. Now, this was the match week 11, the last time they played. This was the starting lineup. Bradley, I believe, is out for this game, so it's going to be interesting what they turn to. Do they move Soboslai out to the midfield, put him at right back? Do they give Gomez a chance to play right back? Do they put a makeshift play over there like Endo? I mean, what will they really do? We're not sure. He has been going to Soboslai a lot in that role, so maybe that's what we'll see. Robertson seems to have taken the Premier League game from Kirkes. We'll see if that continues. McAllister, Gravenberch. If Soboslai moves to right back, I could see Verts moving central to make way for Gakpo to play left wing. But we'll have to wait and see as far as what he decides to do with the right back role. Isak was an unused sub in match week 11. Let's see if he gets to play. He was with Sweden over the break, but I didn't see him get any minutes, I don't think. So I think he's not quite fully 100. Ekitike had a good window. He did score for France. So he should be brimming with confidence. So I would expect him to keep his starting role up front. But yeah, that right back slot is going to be interesting to see how who slots into the position. Slots. All right, now we have Nottingham Forest Leeds. That was their game last time out. Sean Dyche getting the win. Goals from Gibbs White and Sangar got the job done. This is what they started with as far as players. Could see this continuing. Yeah, I could definitely see this continuing. I think Chris Wood should be back now. So he's in contention for sure. Wouldn't mind to have him to put that direct pressure on Liverpool, who look to struggle this season so far with the direct nature of some teams. Liverpool facing Forest, with it being Sean Dyche, though, it's not going to be fully direct, but those direct counter-attacking passes could bear fruit, especially with Liverpool known to push everybody up into the opponent's half when they're in, lengthier spells of possession. So that could work to Forest's advantage, but I just don't see it playing out where they're going to have that opportunity enough. I think Liverpool keep the game under control for the most part, but I think they do let in a goal. So I'm going to say a 3-1 win for Liverpool, just like what Duke said. Don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Grizzly in the building. All right, cool. So Grizzly might have a slot in the standings or in the scores. And when you're ready, you just drop the whole of them. 3-1 as well. So I don't know why everyone likes the 3-1, but that's a few people. So Nick, the Liverpool fan, being conservative with it, 2-1 he says. 2-1 he says. Listen, Sean Dyche, I got lock shop enough. I just think you guys are going to overpower them a little bit tomorrow. Just have a feeling. Just have a feeling. Let's see. It's kind of close between these teams, 7-4. Forest usually get decent results. Andy Madley. Hopefully him don't ref the game madly. Wolves and Crystal Palace. Molyneux, Anthony Taylor. Game's worse. Stats so far 20. Wolves rooted to the table at the foot. They're in 10th now, Crystal Palace, 4 wins, 5 draws. They had no losses for a while, but they've had 2 recently. Only 7 goals scored for Wolves. Jaja. 9 losses, no wins. 14 goals for Palace. You see the XG for Palace. Terribly underperforming. Almost just over 19. 14 is the only amount. 9.647 goals from 9.64 expected goals. No clean sheets for Wolves, but 5 for Crystal Palace. You see Wolves, 4 losses on the bounce after a draw against Brighton in match week 7. Palace, only 1 win in 5 with 2 drawn games and 2 losses. Losses away to Everton and away to Arsenal. They drew at home 3-3 with Bournemouth. They beat Brentford at home 2-0, and they drew at home last time out before the break 0-0. This was Palace's team that played against Brighton at home in match week 11. Henderson, Richards, Lacroix, and Canvo. I think Gahey will be back, so that back three will be back intact. Munoz, Wharton, Lerma, and Mitchell. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw that again. Sarr, Kamada, and Mateta. Definitely looking like what it could be. Pino can come in for Kamada. Well, for Lerma, Kamada go back to Lerma's spot and Pino play there. That is something that we might see, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see it, because I do think that Glasner knows he can take the game a little bit more to the opponent that they're facing. So yeah, I think Wolves' misery continues, to be honest. I don't see them breaking out of this funk just yet. And I honestly think that Palace makes it 5 losses on the bounce. Yeah, I do think they're gonna win this game. So I will say that Palace gets the better of them. 3. I'm gonna leave it at 2-0. 2-0. I think Palace actually keep the clean sheet too. 2-0. Your keeper, Nick. Dean Henderson. 2-1 Liverpool because it's Anfield. Yeah, next up. All right. Hey, bro, you can always just WhatsApp me the pics, I can add them in if you don't feel like you rush it right just live. As long as you send me the pics before 7:30 in the morning, I will add you, my bro. A whole heap of people just IG, WhatsApp, Discord, whatever, just message me on different things. I'm gonna just add them. More while about 2 whole page of pics. All right, Game Birds. What you say? 2-0 Palace too. I say I like the sound of my pick for that one there. I don't miss nobody anything. No. Make sure I'm not miss coach. Hey coach, if you have to drop off, can send all of them or just IG me or something. And me add them on. Yeah, I don't think he'll be starting all the time though. I think Tuchel does still have what my boy name? Pickford above him. I think in that final game against Albania, he just made sure to play, some of the players that maybe it's a mixture. Because obviously Bellingham and Rice did start, Harry Kane start and play the whole game. But man like Saka got a rest. Well, from the start, as I don't normally start this game. So he did try to change it up a little bit. So Alex Scott was called, but I don't think he played. Unless he played in the Serbia game, which I doubt. Yeah, so Alex Scott never get a run out. Two 0 Palace. Boy, the scoreline is popular, brother. The very popular scoreline. All right. Last game for the day should be a good one. Newcastle versus City, but we don't know which Newcastle going to turn up 14th spot. City all the way up to second, just 4 points off Arsenal now. They're on 22 points, 7 wins, 1 draw with 3 lost games, 3 wins, 3 draws, and 5 losses for Newcastle. Mad. 23 goals for City, one of the best scoring teams in the league. 11 goals for Newcastle. That's been their problem this season. Even though Baltimore has been a revelation, they're not scoring any goals. No one else is scoring. The XG, 13.18. City all the way up at 19.51. Both teams have 5 clean sheets. So the form, 2 wins, 3 losses for Newcastle. 4 wins with the 1 loss in the middle of those. Match week 9 away to Villa, 1-0. But City has gotten much stingier in defense. They have 3 clean sheets in the last 5, and they only conceded 1 goal in the other 2. So they have been much better as far as conceding. This game is one of the most played games since the Premier League started. 50 times they've played, 32 wins for City, 8 wins for Newcastle with 10 drawn games. City won 4-0 at home last season, but drew away from home 1-1 in September. So let's just take a look at the lineup that Newcastle used when they faced Brentford and lost away from home before the international break. Murphy, Barnes, Voltemada. Voltemada pretty much starts all the time, but the wingers is where the rotations happen. Elanga, one of Elanga, Murphy, Barnes, and Anthony Gordon usually, 2 of those 4 usually start. And, I can never quite figure out when Eddie Howe is going to start whichever pairing. So that's one thing to deal with if you own any of these players in fantasy. Joe Linton, Tonali, and Guimaraes, I think if they're fit, that's who Eddie Howe would play every single game. Dan Burney see the red card, so he won't be available. So that puts a little bit of a strain on them. Lewis Hall still kind of just coming back, so don't know if he's quite ready. TR has been really good since he came, and Batman has forced his way into the team, relegating Fabian Schär to the bench and pushing Dan Bird to left back again. Nick Pope did have to come off in the last game, but they have adequate replacement in Aaron Ramsdale. Now, Manchester City, this is how they looked in their 3-0 win at home against Liverpool. Donnarumma in goal, doing well for them so far. I think if everybody's fit right now, I do think this is Pep's first choice back 4. Silva, Gonzalez, and Foden. Gonzalez will have to hold on the fort some more because Rodri is still out. But Reinders didn't even come on in the last game, was feeling something. Let's see if he's back into the fold from the start or not. Marmoush back fully fit as well. Nori, Savinho. So they're getting a lot of these players back that have been out. Shirky and Doku played the wings the last time, but I think it's very disingenuous of me to call these 2 guys wingers because in this new Pep Guardiola, new and improved, there's a lot more fluidity on the front line. So Doku and Shirky have license to pretty much drift anywhere in that final third, wherever the space and the play dictates them to go. 1-0 Palace Scenic. Switch it up from the 2-0. 1-1 Castle and City. Well, look, I'm going to be totally honest. St. James Park is a place that normally the fans up for it. They play good. But can I trust St. James Park enough with what I've seen with Newcastle so far? I mean, they've been playing terrible. So I don't know if I'm trusting the St. James Park thing. It's a tough one, people. Because the form book would tell you why you're going against City right now. But Newcastle only wins in the last 5 came at this ground. Something's got to give, right? Look, because it's St. James Park, I was going to go 2-1 Manchester City, but I'm going to go Desmond 2-2. I'm going to go with a Desmond. Yes, sir. I'm going with a Desmond. Nick is going with a 1-1. Chile going with the 2-1 to City. Good of you having faith in your team again, my boy. They will play good, in my opinion. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I share that opinion. I just feel like the game big enough and it's at home, they'll play well tomorrow. And to be fair, Eddie Howe at St. James Park usually give Pep Guardiola a lot of problems. It's always end up being a shootout type of game. That's why I go with the Desmond, you know. Even though City been stingy defensively of late, I just feel like the atmosphere and thing going to take them a bit out of them character at times, and it's going to be a little more open than Pep probably want it to be. That's my theory. All right, Leeds United versus Aston Villa. This is the kickoff game Sunday morning. The curtain raiser for the North London derby. Oh, speaking of, never looked at the ref in this Newcastle game in a car. St. James Park is a place where things always are going on. Sam Barrett, all right. Let's see what Sam up to. So Leeds, Aston Villa. Let's look at the tail of the tape. Aston Villa really turning things around of late, man. Up to 6th position now after a terrible start. I think at one point they were in the relegation zone, like early in the season. But 16th league position now for Leeds. They have been on a bit of a decline. 3 wins for them, 2 draws, 6 losses. 10 goals scored, 13 to Aston Villa. So still, both teams definitely scoring less than they would probably like. The XG is appalling for Aston Villa, one of the lowest, 9.36 after 11 games. Even Leeds, far superior at 13.07. 4 clean sheets for Aston Villa, 2 clean sheets for Leeds. Last 5, Leeds only with 1 win, 4 losses around that 1 win match week 9 over West Ham 2-1. 2-0 away lost to Burnley. 2-1 lost at home to Tottenham. 3-0 at the Amex against the Seagulls and 3-1 at the City Ground last time out for them away from home against Nottingham Forest. Then Aston Villa, only that 1 loss to Liverpool at Anfield 2-0, around 4 wins. Burnley at home 2-1, Tottenham away 2-1, Man City at home 1-0, and Bournemouth at home 4-0 for Aston Villa. Now that 4-0, how did it happen? Who did they use? So this is what they ran out with Torres and Kanza. Kanza is a bit of a doubt, but he's a trooper. Usually plays through a lot of things. Cash and Digne. Then in midfield, he went with Kamara, Onana, Buendia, and McGinn, with Rogers and Watkins pretty much up front. Could have been a 4-5-1-2, but Rogers did play very high in this game, so I don't mind that they just listed as a 4-4-2. So that was Aston Villa when they beat Bournemouth, and then Leeds. They'll be at Ellen Road this go around, where they've been much better than away. But this is who they started the last time: Perry, Bial, Rodan, Bogle, Goodmanson, Ampadu, Stack, and Longstaff, and Aronson, Okafor, and Mecha up front. Of course, Calvert-Lewin is an option up there, Pirro as well. But let's see what the coach ends up going with. Daniel Farker definitely will be at this point trying anything to try to steady the ship, because it is looking a bit wobbly right now. And I think it's just bad timing for Leeds, man. They have been much better at home, but I just feel like Villa is operating much more like what we thought they would operate like going into the season. And I think Leeds is kind of trending the other way. So I'm going to say just going with the trends. I know Villa is a lot stronger at home typically. I'm going to say they still are able to go to Ellen Road and get a job done. And I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory for Aston Villa. Close game, but I think Villa will pull it out in the end. Yeah, man, Newcastle always putting under pressure, brother. Always. So Game Birds going with the home cooking at Ellen Road 2-1. I went 2-1, but I went with the opposite team to win. Second game on Sunday is Arsenal taking on Tottenham, my people. So this is the tail of the tape. Arsenal in first so far. 4-point lead. Could be put down to 1 by the time they kick off. if City were to win. And we have Tottenham in 5th position currently. 5 wins for them. Arsenal with 8. 2 draws for Arsenal. 3 for Tottenham. 3 losses for Tottenham and only the 1 for Arsenal. 20 goals so far to 19 for Spurs. So very, very even there. Arsenal averaging conceding, even after conceding 2 the last game, still at 0, because they do just round up for the goals conceded or round down. XG 19.33, so very good. And that end, creating some chances there, 11.09 for Spurs. So they're really overachieving their XG totals. Clean sheets up to 7 out of the first 11 games for Arsenal, 4 out of the first 11 for Spurs. Arsenal with 4 wins on the track before that draw away to Sunderland. Tottenham with some much more up and down form, win, loss, and then a draw at home against Manchester United the last time out. This match been played 66 times since the Prem has started. 27 wins for Arsenal, 15 for Spurs with 24 drawn games, a lot of draws. 2-1 Arsenal in the corresponding fixture last season in January, and they did the double, beating them away from home 1-0 in September of last season. So Spurs are winless in their last 5 against Arsenal in the league, with 2 drawn games and 4 wins for Arsenal. So Arsenal looking to continue this recent trend when they talk about them playing against Spurs in this NLD. Last time out, as I said, it was a 2-2 draw for Spurs. This was their team when they faced Man United. Porro, Romero, Van de Ven, Spence, Vicario, Paulinho, Sarr, Johnson, Xavi Simons, Richarlison, and Kolo Muani up front. Lots of options though. Matisse Tell, Wilson Odebear has started a lot of games. Udogi sometimes comes back into the left back role. But let's see what Thomas Frank decides to go with in this one on Sunday, the big one, the first NLD that he will be manager. They did get us in the preseason. Maybe that's not lost on Mikel Arteta or the players, and they'll definitely want the revenge. Now, this was the 2-2 team that played Sunderland, Raya, Timber, Saliba. We know Magalhaes will be out, so that's the first big decision for Arteta. Who do you replace him with? Mosquera, we've seen already come in there. Nkapie, we know was bought as Phil for the left back role, but definitely can play centre back as well. So he might be an interesting choice that people might not be thinking about. But I strongly believe that it's probably going to be Christian Mosquera, just because we've been in this situation before and he seems to be that next up in the coach's eyes. And I would say ideally put Calafiori at centre back, put Hincapie or Miles Lewis Kelly at left back and call it a day. But if Calafiori is not fully fit, I would much rather probably put Mosquera there and still play either Skelly or Hincapie at left back. Zubimendi should be nice and fresh. I don't think he played at all in the second game for Spain in the window. Declan Rice did play twice for England, but Tuchel was good about the minutes, didn't play him full 19 either one. Saka got a good bit of minutes in his belt as well for England, scoring and assisting in the 2 games. Eze had a brilliant goal for England, but the 2-yard pass from Foden was more important. Trossard and Marino. So, to be totally honest, people, one change from this team. Somebody for Magalhaes. If Calafiori is fit, he's going to keep his shirt at left back. So, at the most, I would say 2 subs, the left centre back and the left back. Everybody else I could very well see starting this game. Even those players that are due to come back, even if they are fit, doubt he'll start any of them. So I would probably think they're going to go with this one. But to be totally fair, we have Bayern in the week. How much does that weigh into things? I think none, probably. I think the coach at this point knows, he should know that with what we've been able to do in the Champions League so far, I would be definitely making sure that you're putting out your strongest team or your best foot forward when it comes on to you want to put your best foot forward when it comes on to this fixture. So Arsenal, Tottenham, North London derby from the Emirates. As Arsenal, I was going to say Arsenal is undefeated in the Champions League. So Not that you want to give away the Bayern game, but I think you want to focus on this Tottenham game for momentum purposes. You're coming off a draw. You want to make a statement to the league that, listen, and a few time to have no wobble after the draw. You want to get this result and just show people that you mean business. So even though we have Bayern in the week, we can't watch that. Play the player that we think will get you the job done. And when the Bayern fixture forward, that's when we worry about that. That is when we worry about that. All right, the game is on Wednesday at 3. Won't be able to do it. Jaja. Villa 2-all, says Nick. Wow. Arsenal 2, Spurs 1. Yeah, so I got broke them hearts because them not score a goal. I'm going to say 2-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah, man. 2-1 Villa, say Edwards. Why Edwards, you have a whole heap of score me not get unless me just blind. No, man. 1-0 Fulham. That was the last one you said, right? Yeah. All right. I'm not miss none. You miss. Leeds 2-1 says at Chile. All right. Going into a game like having zero faith of Arsenal dropping points says a lot about this derby in recent years. Yeah. So Chile agree with the scoreline of 2-0. Nick said 1-0 to the Arsenal. George Graham score. Big up, Jagons. You've had enough of the speed talk. You can just drop the whole of them one time or just drop the comment after the show, whichever one you prefer. But you're there in my list, my G, so I'm there wait for them. Make sure I put mask. I know must send female in a Discord already. Big up to Mas. Wonder if Taran live right now. BBK Sports. Yeah, I'm live. Me send him a message and make him know. Drop a like over there. Big up to BBK Sports family. Realize the man live. Big up. And respect for the membership. My G. And respect Nick for the membership as well. Membership them help people. This is gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting. We don't lose a game to these creeps in a while, man. Only thing that I think about is this man did have a wicked performance against City earlier in the season. And even the preseason game, like how them did set up, very, very good setup to play with. So kind of worried about the tactical battle and what Frank have up his sleeve, but I just feel like, we're going to do the usual. Vicario going to do some foolishness on a set piece. We get a goal and, chase the game against us is not that easy. All right, stats. 7th position for United, 13th for Everton. 5 wins for United, 4 for Everton. 3 draws for both teams. 4 losses for Everton, 3 for Manchester United. 19 goals scored, so not bad at all. You see the XG up by 19 as well, 18.43. 12 goals scored, 14.76. So Everton, terrible. And it makes sense because they have 2 strikers, and I don't think both of them add up to 1. Beto and Barry, they're both not good. XG per 90, you see the difference there. A little bit of a difference. 3 clean sheets for Everton though, and only 1 for United, which is surprising. This whole season just 1. And that was against Sunderland, 2-0. They had 3 wins on the bounce. They drew the last 2, but hey, those draws were losses and these wins were draws before, so some improvement. Everton, 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. So their two losses though came to top 5 teams, City and Tottenham. They did have a good win over Palace at home 2-1. They drew away from home at Stadium Light, which is proving to be a good result right now, and a 2-0 victory at home over Fulham before the international break. So Everton, one of those teams that are, under Moyes have been pretty difficult to defeat. It was a rougher start to the season for them. They're up to 4 losses now, but I think he's one thing about Moyes teams, like if they're not playing like one of the biggest teams, typically they're in the game. They have a chance to win. And they haven't died. They have Grealish. I think that's, two of the better, more formidable wide forward pairings in terms of just the skill set that they bring. And like I said, if they had a better striker, man, they would be so much higher in the table, I think, because the team is decent. They have decent players all over the park. So that striker position, though, they're just lacking big time. United has dominated this series, even in all their troubles. 4 wins out of the last 5, with the last game being a 2-2 draw. That was the last time United played them at Goodison Park. So 66 played in this series, 42 wins for United, 10 for Everton with 14 drawn games. So United definitely have a big advantage historically over them. We'll see if that matters much on the day. Everton, they beat Fulham before the international break, and this was their lineup. Pickford, Tarkowski, Keane, Mikalenko, Garner, Tim, Idrissa, Dewsbury Hall, Iliman Ndiaye, Grealish, and Barry. And when Barry come off, it's better. And it don't get no better. Trust me. So yeah, that is Everton's team from the last go round, and this is Man United when they took on Tottenham. Cunha played up front, which will probably continue. And Mbuemo, Diallo, that's the one good thing about Sesko not being around. I think this front three might even be even more dangerous. And they can do a lot of rotating as well. Dorgu and Mazraoui played the wing back roles. Shaw, Maguire, De Ligt. We know Maguire won't be around, so we'll see if they're drafting Lenny Yoro probably to play that right centre back role with De Ligt going to the middle. Maybe that might be what they end up doing. And then Casemiro and Fernandes have been nailed on starters. I think that will probably continue. So Man U's team, you can probably predict, Dallo might come in from the start. But we'll see what he ends up doing with those wing back roles. Most of the players, though, I think will pick themselves if they're fit. Diallo, Mbuemo, Cunha. I think those 3 players probably start up front. Unless he wants to switch it up and play like a Mason Mount and put Diallo back at right wing back. That's an option as well. But we'll see what they decide, or what Amorim decides. And let's see what I'm thinking. Man U, Everton, Monday Night Football in England. Oh boy, Moyes is tough to beat, United win the game 2-1 because Everton can't finish. That's what's gonna happen. Game Bird said 2-1 to Everton. Old Trashford bun up. 3-2 United. Them I can see the 2 goals when you got to fall off the bench as usual. Yeah, don't it? Yeah, I'm going 2-1 though. But I do think they win by a hard goal. But people, listen. I'm not gonna hold on. Man's energy is dwindling. Zine. So we got through the games. What else I had on the docket? FPL check. Well, people, you know my style. I'm not gonna give you none of my FPL secrets. So Monday night, which is when we'll do the review show for the week, because we just want all the game them play. Then we forward and talk about all the games, big talking points, goal scorers, checking with the fantasy. We check the prediction results, and we'll have the reveal on Monday night of the winner and the winner of the donkey of the week, who is actually the loser. We'll reveal both of those things. And definitely we'll check in with the FPL and see what my choices looked like and how we did. And yeah, we'll have the banter session as usual in the review. It's a lot more banter because man's chest high after them team get them results that them want and blah blah blah. So the preview is the calm before the storm, people. Don't worry. Friends become foes very quickly when you're discussing these EPL games. All right, people. So big up on yourselves. It was nice to get back and discuss some EPL football with you guys. Those who tuned in and stuck around, you guys are the super legends, keeping engaged throughout the channel. All you other legends in the building that couldn't watch me live because you are watching Rudolph Speed, the drama, the Days of Our Lives, episode 7087. No disrespect to you, I understand. Rudolph Speedway thing there tonight. But remember, you can still take part by dropping a comment in the comment section and just give me your scores right down the line. If you need some assistance on how to write the scores, just go to the Premier League website and they'll have the games listed. If you write them down in that order, that would be greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated because it's just easier to write them if they're in order. All right. But if you don't put them in order, I am vigilant enough to fix it. So it's not the end of the world either. But just my plea and request, if possible. All right, United 2-1 says Nick agrees with me again. Yo, why we agreeing so much, Nick? This is not good enough. We'll see though. We'll either have a great week or we will be in line for the donkey. Yes, people, but big up on yourselves. Thanks so much for the support. As I said before, if you forgot throughout this stream to hit the like button, please do so on the way out. And yeah, man, make sure that you guys are subscribed. I know if you're talking to me in the comment section, you are because we have the subscriptions turned on. And definitely you guys support all the other content creators, whether you see them in my chat, you hear me talk about them. Yeah, man, they are all content creators. And if I follow them, they have some form of value, or else I wouldn't. So yeah, man, it's already a cosign. If I'm bringing them up and acknowledging them as creators, yeah, man, we have respect enough for them, for you guys to go to their channels and hit the subscription button, because guess what, the whole of we want to be seen, you see me. But yeah, it's not really about that for me. I just want my words and the way I carry myself, my actions on the screen, make no want to come back, the next time and the next time and the next time, because the quality of the convo always are gonna be up. Yes, people. So yeah, man, all those who stuck around, as I say, one of the real MVPs. Anybody that didn't get a chance to watch it live, all is not lost. Guys, watch it on the replay, hit the 2 times or the 1.5, take in the show and all the discussion we had, and it just might help you to lift the prediction trophy for the week. Big up on yourselves and thanks so much for the support. I'm Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV, and I haven't said this in a while, but come on, you Gooners. Don't do me like Jamaica do me.